Welcome to Comic Talkers, where comics is always the top of our discussion. I'm Mary,
And I'm Brandon.
and we are here with the penultimate episode of the 52 event. It really does not feel real that we are almost done with
Mhm.
this. It's been an entire year pretty much for us, so this is pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
And we start week 51, day one off in California with a scene that we saw last time through the eyes of Buddy Baker in space. So we see a man hitting on Ellen Baker, who at this point believes her husband to be dead. He goes on to say, I mean, since Trish walked out on me, we've both had to wrestle with bereavement. And she says, Trish walked out on you because you were cheating on her with three different girls, Roger. Thanks for the ride. And you're right, I'm over my grief, but I'm not over Buddy. Um, and as she's going into her house, there's a great big light in the sky. Their dog is going nuts. Um, and Buddy Baker has essentially come back to life and from space. She even checks to see if it's him and not a ghost. And he starts talking to her about space, and then their kids can see him. But at the same time, at the very end of this touching reunion scene, we see target identified. Wait until week, then kill for bounty for Lady Styx.
We go to day two. Um, and we are at the memorial site of not only Superman but Superboy. Okay. And states the following in the wake of what some professors and historians are controversially dubbing World War III, dozens of masked men and women have arrived to join thousands paying their respects to a young boy who sacrificed himself for us 1 year ago. And we see Wonder Woman there. We see um, Wonder Girl, Cassandra there. And of course, Cassandra kind of mentions you heard about what happened to Ralph Dibny. And she goes, and Wonder Woman kind of states, Fire told me. And she goes, there's something so strange about it all. And now I'll never be able to say I'm sorry. And the words continue going on with the TV, and it says, and to honor those who gave their lives to halt the rampage of the world's most wanted mortal, Black Adam. Wonder Woman states to her that you'll find a way. Um, and then we kind of turn a little bit to a group gathering of all the heroes using Green Arrow, Star Spangled Kid or Stargirl, Green Lanterns, um, Jay Garrett, Plastic Man, God, Fire and Bulleteer and Ravager. There's a lot. Now the main
Kid
ones were
Devil.
Kid Devil. We're gonna see here in a second more. But we're gonna turn to something that Mary absolutely hates. Okay,
Tim Drake existing.
not even that. There's another scene before that. Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And Bruce kind of states to Clark, "You look rested." He goes, "You too, Bruce." And he goes, "Connor's grown quite a following. If the kids call it the Church of Connell." He goes, "Mixing religion with what we do is dangerous." And he goes, "It's not like the cult Wonder Girl fell into. It isn't about raising the dead. It's more inspirational." "Did you see Diana?" Bruce goes, and he goes, "In her new identity you set up." And of course, we see that this Wonder Woman is not Wonder Woman. She is the agent that's been kind of watching over them. Uh, and it's the Department of Metahuman Affairs that she now currently works for. I do not like this costume on her. This looks terrible.
I don't like this role for her, but that is a completely different issue.
So just to confirm, then Wonder Woman is Donna at this point.
I
That's what's
believe
not
so.
really explained because Donna was in the beginning of the series, and then we don't see her for quite some time.
I'm pretty sure this is Donna.
Yeah, and then Diane Prince is the agent at this point, and and of course Clark states what he likes. I like the glasses on her. But then, yeah, we turn to Tim Drake. Um, Mary's favorite character in the world, other than Bruce Wayne. I'm just messing. Just giving you crap. Just giving you
I
crap.
know.
All right. So Ravager is kind of a person. Let me ask you this: do you like Rose Wilson?
I love all of the Wilson children.
Okay.
Even Grant,
Mm,
who does not appear for a very long time. But his particular brand of daddy issues are very entertaining to me, so I would like to keep him.
okay. Now Ravager kind of comes up to Jim and she goes, "Did you hear that too?" And she goes, "What now, Rose?" He goes, "Stargirl just asked Wildcat if she should arrest me. Then she sized me up." And Tim states, "You want to get out from under your father's shadow? You're going to have to get used to it." And she states, "I'm not going to take their crap, Robin." And she goes, "We're here to remember fallen titans, not deal with your insecurities." And Ravager goes, "I'm sorry if Tara and young Frankenstein died, but I barely knew who they were." Oh, and that was the other things I want to bring up too, because that is part of World War III. Tara, which was a weird one, dies. And then correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong. Did this event take place after Blackest Night? Because it's the only way I could see Tara being brought back to life. Because Tara's dead, as what we know.
Now you got me Googling years. Hold on.
That's what my confusion was too. Because I was like, because I thought that too when I read World War III, and I was like, I thought Tara was dead. I didn't think. I thought Blackest Night took place in like 2008, 2009.
Blackest Night is 2009, 2010.
Oh, so, and this was 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
So how do they bring Tara back to life? Comics.
I think they forget who's dead.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially Jeff Johns. Doesn't shock me. But Tim goes, "You want to be a Teen Titan? Find out." And of course, there's a person that comes up and says, "Hi." And he states, "The kid name's Kid Devil, Blue Devil's sidekick." And Ravager goes, "Who?" And he goes, "I saw you talking to Robin. Do you know Robin?" And she goes, "I guess. Can you introduce me?" Now, let me ask you this. Do you like Kid Devil?
I
Or
love Kid Devil. I love Jason's weird pen pal. I think he's a hoot. Um, and I think he has a lot of potential that could be explored a whole lot more. But he's a side character, so that's never going to happen.
to a very big side character, Blue Devil? It's like a side character to another side character.
Yeah,
Now, let me ask you this. Are you a fan of Blue Devil?
I do like Blue Devil. Yeah.
Like, I wish they would have given him more in this event. Like, we got him for a few weeks, and then that was about it. That's when the mask went to Ralph and so on and so forth. But um, Jimmy Olsen, of course, is there. And he tries to get Tim to answer a couple questions. Of course, the first thing he notices is there's no green anymore on his suit, that it's black and red. And he goes, "What's the deal with the new suit?" And he looked up at Connor's statue and states they were his colors. And Jimmy goes, "Oh, now let me ask you this. Do you like that remnant? Like he changed his colors because of Connor?"
Um, uh, okay. So this is where things get complicated for me because I don't mind it as a character thing, but I hate what Tim Drake fans have done to Connor because of Tim's obsession with Connor.
I give you that.
Because Connor can no longer exist as Connor Kent because Tim Drake fans make it all about Tim, which is part of why I hate Tim so much. I'm not gonna lie. His fan base is obnoxious to me. Um, and I feel like Connor isn't the focus anymore when it becomes about Tim's grief over Connor.
Right. You got a point there. Now, he knows his Wonder Girl off to the side, and when he tries to go talk with her, Wonder Woman and her soar up and or soar up into the air, and when he tries to tell them to wait, they just continue soaring. Now we're gonna turn to day 3. Now, I'm going to start reading you what's stated. The Guardians have been searching for the so-called Emerald Eye of Ekron for centuries. Apparently, it's some kind of prototype will-powered green plasma weapon for the early days of the Guardians' technology. Nowhere near as versatile as our rings, but nevertheless, it could be a devastating weapon in the wrong hands. And they state, here comes Adam now. So we realize we're on the planet Rann at this point. And the last time we saw Adam Strange, it was on Mojo with him and Starfire landing on it. And we never knew what happened afterwards. And we do see Mojo literally, the big planet literally over Rann right now. It is like the funniest thing ever. It's like a planet over a planet kind of thing. Now Adam wakes up and he goes, Sardath, it's that you? And he goes, Adam Strange. He goes, welcome home to Rann. And currently they're being attacked by some fire beasts, which we'll get to here in a little bit. And the first thing he says is, I can see again. And we find out that his daughter Aaliyah, or Adam Strange's daughter Aaliyah, provided copies of her eyes, which we've laced these with the latest gene enhancements, allowing you to see across the entire electromagnetic spectrum. They should make your battles with Rand's hostile ecosystem a little easier. Reluctant as I am to bring this up, the city has been besieged by flame creatures for several days. He goes, those guys, all you have to do is cut off their oxygen. And he goes, where's Corey? Where's the princess? And she was hurt. And he goes, she spent a few hours powering up under those 3 suns, then took off. Said something about a jacket. And of course, we talk about Coriander at this point, which we'll see later on in this issue.
More of that wonderful early 2000s sexism that leads way to how she's treated in Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Now, the other Green Lantern is there because we do see John. Now, that was the thing I want to talk about, because when we just see John on Earth and then all of a sudden we just see him on Rann, like, oh yeah, I'm here too. It's like, hold on. Like, yeah, I know that was a day in between, and I know lanterns can move faster space.
Like, come on.
Come on now. Like, don't show off. I love John Stewart. He's my favorite Green Lantern for a reason. But still. Anyway, he says the Guardians, of course, the other lantern with him, though, is the Guardians wanted to know what you saw out there. The 52. He goes, the last thing I saw was, and then the guy goes, and what of the Emerald Eye? And he goes, Lobo. Lobo took it, but you can see that his eyes are distracted. And here comes his wife and Aaliyah. And of course, he goes right to them. And of course, the other Green Lantern there with John goes, Lobo, and he goes, but, and John just says, hey, the man just flew across half the galaxy blind and saved us all from Lady Styx. And of course, they walk out and go look at the fiery beast standing out there. And he goes, how about you? John goes, how about you and me deal with the monsters this time? And they just sit there and they go take on the monsters that are standing out there. Now, I'm going to turn it back over to Mary because we're going to go over her favorite character of all time, the main man, Lobo.
Yeah, so Lobo's back, sort of. Or at least according to the Church of the Triple-Headed Fish God, the Archbishop has returned. And I think the best part about Lobo's return is that the triple-headed fish god speaks to him, says, enter unto my presence, main man. And Lobo gets to go. The pilgrim has returned, O thrice perfected one. Sorry about the delay. After many adventures, me and Fishy secured the holy relic you sent me to collect, though I have to confess I had all kinds of trouble sticking to my pacifist vows. Maybe now I'm done, you might consider releasing me from my obligations. Why did you want this thing so badly anyhow? Don't think I ever found that out. And the triple-headed fish god says, "Why, it is because of the prophecy, my child. It is said that the emerald eye of Ekron is the only weapon in the universe which can kill me. Thought I'd best keep it safely where I can see it." Lobo, holding the eye, says, "Kill ya? You don't say." And then we get a little tiny square panel of Lobo activating the eye.
Leave it to him to be the one to do it.
Um, Also, I love that you can see Fishy's horrified face in the background. Adore that. This might be my favorite Lobo panel of all time, actually. But then we sort of see that we go back to California here for day 6, and we find out that the Bakers are having a house party. Total tone shift here. Um,
I just love
and
he's
he's
too. Just like, yeah.
Yeah, he says it was Ellen who insisted I wear my suit. The only thing I don't have is my jacket, which had all my keys and my dental appointment card in the pockets. And he's trying to tell a story like, so anyway, I'm lying there dead. The doorbell rings. And she goes, "I thought everyone was already here. You didn't invite anyone else, did you?" And she opens the door, and there are these two little creatures going, "Bounty for Lady Styx! Die, die, die!" with their weird little weapons. And then they get blown up at the door, and Starfire comes in and says, "Sorry about that. Ellen Baker, my name is Coriander of Tamarin. On Earth, I was known as Starfire. Come a very long way to bring you this." And then Starfire just like passes out. Um, and then here we have that sexism. Ellen asks if Roger hired a stripper. Bunny Defend comes to her defense and goes, "She is space royalty." And then for whatever reason, they decide to have Bunny's like 10-year-old son comment on the size of Starfire's breasts.
Why?
Hate everything about that.
Yeah.
Just
Especially
everything about it.
especially Animal Man and his family of all people. Like
Like,
they're
like for real.
they're not known for.
We just had this incredible long character arc of bonding and mutual respect being built between Buddy and Corey, and you're gonna end it like this?
Jeff Johns for you. That is pure Jeff Johns. Like
I know.
that he
One
gives.
of the many reasons I don't like his writing.
He's really good when he first starts off something, or when he creates something. He's really good at it. But then when at the end of it all, it sucks, or it makes no sense, or it leaves you with questions. Yeah. Now we're going to turn to day 7. And usually Mary takes on Tio Moro, but I decided to take the sacrifice here because we are going to talk about Booster as well. Because last week we saw Rip Hunter and Booster go to Tio Moro to the Rocky Mountains and pretty much told him, because we find out Moro has now found out what this 52 really means. And Rip Hunter tells him to pretty much suit up, get ready to go. We see Skeets. And pretty much he's starting to go through this lab. And all of a sudden, Red Tornado's continuing 52, 52. And then here Skeets goes, "The android caught a glimpse of the garden and made a map." And then Moro goes, "Here he comes with a gun in his hand. This is exactly how they said it would happen. 52 worlds, 52 morals, and it all comes down to me." And Skeets goes, "I want the map." And he goes, "Gentlemen, thanks for luring him, Professor. We'll take it over from here." And here comes Rip Hunter and Booster. He goes, "Pray for the sake of the 52 we don't screw up this time." And of course, Booster goes, "Take it easy, Skeets. We know your data got corrupted somehow." And he goes, "Skeets is dead, Michael. I ate him from within to make a cradle, a cocoon. Imagine my disgust. The mind of an alien genius trapped in the body of a lowly caterpillar, stalled in a larval stage until irradiated with suspendium particles. I began the transformation that now concludes. It's too late to stop it. The 52 weeks of my gestation are complete. At last, the kid chrysalis can hatch. Behold the metamorphosis of Mr. Mind. Now, again, do you feel like this was rushed? Because again, this is something that we saw Mr. Mind escape his cradle, like what, week 2, week 3? I mean, we never heard from him since.
Yeah.
And they just put him in Skeet's body. Like, oh yeah, that was what happened.
Surprise!
Like, how did he even get to Skeets? How does he even do this? Sure.
Why is he in Skeets?
Yeah.
Why Skeets?
Why Skeets over? Yeah, exactly. He goes, behold the metamorphosis of Mr. Mind. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I could eat a universe. I'll start with yours, shall I? And Booster goes, oh dear God. And he goes, too late again. Damn it. Rip Hunter goes, Booster, grab what's left of Skeet and get into the time sphere. Moro, activate your androids and get out of here. Hurry. He goes, and Booster goes, it's hideous. He goes, you haven't seen anything yet. Come on. We stay here, we lose. Where are we going? He goes, back to where it all started. Now, that'll end the main issue of this series, or of this issue. But we're gonna go into the origins of the Justice League of America, or the JLA. I almost said Justice Society there. I know. We're gonna go over the origin of the Justice League of America, written by Mark Waid, of course, and it states the following: They had been watching the wearing leaders of the planet Apilex. There we go. Having monitored from afar the end of Earth's golden age of heroes. Assumed they were safe and claiming our now undefended world as their ultimate battleground. A new generation proved them wrong. During the aliens' long trek to Earth, new defenders had arisen. Fast creating their own heroic legacy together, they repelled the Apalexian invasion. Eager to continue working as a team, drawing inspiration from the retired Justice Society, these freshman heroes formed a league of their own. Initially, Black Canary, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, and the Martian Manhunter formed the group's core before long co-founders Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman assumed full membership as well. In the years since, almost all of Earth's champions have at one time or another held a place on the roster. Among heroes, there is no greater honor than being asked to join the Justice League of America. From their headquarters in Washington, D.C., the JLA serves as mankind's premier protectors, Earth's front line against threats too powerful for any one hero to defeat. And of course, just like the Justice Society, they do kind of have a lineup. It's Red Tornado, Geoforce, Batman, Green Lantern, Red Arrow, Black Canary, Hawk Girl, Black Lightning, Vixen, Wonder Woman, Superman.
I think my favorite thing about this lineup is how many people on that team don't like Batman.
Yeah. Well,
Because
here's
it's quite a number.
now. Let me ask you this. Now, do you like Red Arrow more on the Justice League, or do you like Green Arrow more on the Justice League?
Roy fits a lot better on the Justice League than Ollie ever did.
Okay.
There's a reason Ollie leaves the Justice League. It's because he doesn't like most of the Justice
Well,
League.
I think the only reason, and again, correct me if I'm wrong with this, the only reason I like Ollie more is he was the voice of reason. He was the
And
one
Roy
that,
does very often fill that same gap. They're very like father like son.
yeah,
Roy and Ollie are very similar. However, Roy is more of a people person.
yeah,
Roy understands how to work on a team without making everyone hate him.
right,
However, he does that by letting everyone treat him like the group punching bag.
yeah.
So he needs to become a little bit more like Ollie in the growing a spine department sometimes. But Ollie definitely has a lot to learn from Roy in terms of how to have social skills,
What was it? Now,
how to make friends and influence people.
out of this lineup here, what would you say is like the shocker to you to this lineup that they have?
I mean, Geoforce.
Exactly what I was going to say. Geoforce, and I'd probably say
I don't dislike Geoforce, but like I wouldn't pick him.
like Geoforce isn't terrible. He does have a good power set, but you just don't have a lot of background with him. Like he's there,
Yeah. And like Vixen is such a good addition to any team.
right?
Um,
But there needs to be
I
more.
love Black Lightning. Red Tornado is always a delight to see in a Justice League team. Um, Roy being on a team with Hal and Dinah is always a delight for me.
Mhm.
Um, Hawk Girl is always good. Kendra's a pleasure to have. Um, Love Diana, adore Clark. Bruce could die in a ditch.
So yeah, fans, we are down to one more issue, which will be releasing next week. If you guys love this, we love your guys' support as it is. Please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and hit the like button of this video. Um, check Mary and I out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Comic Talkers, and then you also can find us and my other crewmates for other great comic book and anime content on Spotify for podcasters, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Without further ado, my name is Brandon,
And I'm Mary.
and may comics always be the top of your discussion.